Have you ever heard of Onesiphorus? No, you're not alone. He's only mentioned twice in the Bible and barely gets a spotlight. But don't let that fool you. His story is one of the most powerful examples of quiet faithfulness. While others abandoned Paul in prison, Onesiphorus ran toward him. He wasn't looking for recognition, he was looking to serve. In a world obsessed with platform and praise, Onesiphorus reminds us, faithfulness in the shadows is often the most Christ-like thing we can do. Stick around, you might just find your calling there. Picture this, you're doing everything right, obeying God, serving faithfully, but suddenly, boom, everything changes. You're alone, forgotten, isolated. The people who once stood by you, gone. The spotlight fades, the chains tighten. You start to wonder, was it even worth it? And just when it feels like no one sees you, someone shows up. Not with a sermon, not with judgment, but with presence, with kindness, with courage. That someone was Onesiphorus. While others ran from Paul's prison cell, Onesiphorus ran to it. He didn't need a platform, he had purpose. And in doing so, he reflected the heart of Christ. Quiet, steady, faithful. Onesiphorus was a Christian in Ephesus when Paul was imprisoned in Rome, cold and awaiting execution. But instead of staying safe at home, Onesiphorus traveled hundreds of miles just to find and support Paul in his darkest hour. Most people, they run from trouble, from discomfort, from anything that might cost them something, but not Onesiphorus. Paul writes, "He was not ashamed of my chains," and that's huge, because in ancient Rome, being connected to a prisoner, especially one condemned for following Jesus, was dangerous. It could ruin your reputation, or worse, get you arrested too. But Onesiphorus didn't flinch. He wasn't afraid to be seen. He didn't let fear keep him from faithfulness. He stood by Paul when it was risky, when it was costly, when it mattered most. That kind of loyalty, that kind of courage, it's rare and it's powerful. Paul says Onesiphorus often refreshed me, and that word refreshed in the original Greek, it means to cool down, to revive, to breathe life back into someone who's weary. Imagine that. Imagine being the kind of person who doesn't just show up, but brings relief, who walks into a dark, heavy place and becomes a source of peace. That's what Onesiphorus did, and it wasn't just a one-time thing. Paul says he did it often. Again and again, he became a fountain of life in a place full of death, a Roman prison, cold, brutal, hopeless. Yet when Onesiphorus walked in, it was like fresh air blowing through a stifling room. That's the power of presence. That's the ministry of encouragement. Quiet, consistent, Christ-like. In that same letter, Paul mentions another man, Demas, and he says something heartbreaking. Demas, because he loved this world, has deserted me. One man walked away when things got hard. The other, he walked in, right into the suffering, right into the risk. Demas chose comfort. Onesiphorus chose courage. And let's be honest, we live in a world full of Demases. People who disappear when the cost gets high. But what we need are more Onesiphoruses. People who are quiet but steady, unseen but loyal, brave enough to stay when others... So here's the challenge. Who's your Paul? Who in your life is sitting in a dark, lonely place, just waiting for someone to care enough to come close? Maybe it's a friend battling depression who's been isolating and hoping someone notices. Maybe it's a mentor who once poured into everyone else, but now feels forgotten and alone. Or maybe it's a church leader, someone who looks strong on the outside, but is quietly struggling on the inside. These people don't need a perfect answer. They don't need a fixer. They just need presence. Someone to show up, someone to refresh their soul, someone willing to be like Onesiphorus. Is that someone? You. You may never stand on a stage. You may never get your name in lights, or have a platform, or be recognized by the crowds. But if you live like Onesiphorus, faithful, unashamed, consistent, refreshing, heaven will remember you. The world might overlook you, but God sees every act of quiet courage, every visit, every prayer, every moment you choose faithfulness over fame. So don't live to be remembered by man, live to be rewarded by God. Because in the end, it's not about being seen, it's about being faithful. If this message spoke to your heart, like, comment, and share. Type in the comments, "Lord, make me an Onesiphorus," and subscribe for more Bible stories that challenge and refresh your faith.